Hello and welcome to day 71 of 100 Days of Bad video. Today is a tough one. So we're wrapping up our series and converting the laws of thermodynamics to real world application, and dealing with law number 3 is a tough one. Honestly, I almost didn't do it. I was going to kind of leave it and come up with some excuse as to why I wasn't going to do it, because it was so hard to convert. But I chose not to. I chose to just put a little bit more time, effort, and energy. And this is what I came up with. So today's talk is going to be beware of ice. And the first thing I'm going to give you the definition, excuse me, or a very simple definition of the third law of thermodynamics. And it is impossible to lower the temperature of any system to absolute zero in a finite number of steps. Now, I know that's very, very scientific. So let's break that down a little more, and so we can get an understanding before we relate it to just practical life. So first, I'm gonna give you the definition of temperature, which I know we all know what temperature is, but I want to give you the scientific definition. And it's simply, temperature is a measure of available heat energy, or kinetic energy. Understanding that kinetic energy is movement, and that's when molecules move together and rub together as they're moving. The faster they move, the more friction they put off, creating more heat. The slower they move, less friction means less heat, meaning getting cold. So now that we understand that, let's look at it a little bit deeper into the third law. So as the temperature decreases, the internal energy of a system decreases, as does the kinetic energy of the particles. Remember that moving faster, so now they're moving slower. So temperature is decreasing, which means the internal energy of a system is decreasing, because kinetic energy is decreasing. The molecules are not rubbing together as fast, so they're moving slower, they're getting colder. As the temperature becomes very cold, the particles slow to a complete stop, and there's no more movement. So now we are completely stopped. Now, how do we relate this to life? There are times where you're on your journey and you're pursuing your goals and your purpose. You're going to want to stop or take a break. And here's the dangers of stopping or taking a break. Just like in a system, as things get colder and that kinetic energy slows down, and the slower you get, the less you're doing. At some point, it stops. Remember, we said in the first law that kinetic energy was us moving, us being out there, us running our race and pursuing our purpose. Now that we've stopped or taken a break, things are getting colder. We're getting further and further away from doing what we're supposed to be doing. Now, a great example of this is a few videos when I had to take a break because I had a medical procedure. I had 5 days where I wasn't doing these videos. And every day it got easier not to do the video. And like I said, I probably could have came back in day 3, definitely day 4. But I didn't come back until 5 days later. That's because that time had elapsed, that kinetic energy had slowed down. I had got colder in pursuing my goal. And now it was harder for me to come back. I realized that if I put it off anymore, I was at danger of not coming back, or put it off into another time. So that's the thing that you have to look out for. I'm not saying that there's not going to be times where you have to take a break and that you shouldn't take a break. Ideally, you shouldn't take a break, but if you have to be aware of that length of time that you're taking a break, because the more you do something, the easier it becomes comes in doing. The less you do something, the easier it is not to do it. So we want to be aware. We want to keep our kinetic energy up, and we want to keep doing it as much as possible. If we have to take a break, we want to come right back to what we're doing and jump right back in it, because we don't want to reach absolute zero. and reaching absolute zero is we just stop. And how you can think about how many times have you gone to lose weight and you started and then something may have happened and knocks you off track. Life start lifing. You had to take a break. You went on vacation or something happened and you stop that regimen or workout or that consistency that you were putting forth. Once you stop, now to start back, you're just like, oh, okay, I'll start on Monday. Monday rolls around, I'll start, tomorrow. Tomorrow never comes, or it's harder for tomorrow to come. So you have to be aware that to keep your kinetic energy up, you don't want to stop moving, because we want to keep that energy, those molecules rubbing together. We want to keep that heat moving forward. Hopefully you were able to glean something out of this, me converting the third law into real life. I told you it was a tough one, so hopefully I did it justice. And with that being said, there's only one thing left to say. Life gives you two choices. You can either run with the big dogs or you can stay on the porch with the pups. My name is Aaron Allen, and I choose to run with the big dogs. See you out there running.